Hi, I'm Mara and welcome to my channel. We're going to move through this practice that is going to be amazing to energize you and awaken you. Best taken in the morning, but at any time of the day when you need to feel that pick up, this class will be really good. We're going to start in a seated position. So if you wish to bring a block or a pillow underneath your sitting bones, feel free to do so you can give yourself a little bit more height, a little bit more support. And then you can cross the legs or bring one in front of the other. Gently resting the hands on top of your thighs, on top of your knees, closing your eyes. Allow the shoulders to soften, to move away from the neck, from the ears. Finding a tall seat, crown of the head reaching high to the sky. Taking a moment here to scan through the body. Noticing how you're feeling this morning. Any areas where there might be tension, discomfort. Acknowledging without bringing any judgment, any criticism to it. Start noticing your breath. Notice if it's a full inhale and exhale, or maybe it's a bit more of a shallow breath. And again, you're here just to observe, to connect with yourself. And if the breath wasn't full already, start to take deep inhales and deep exhales. Filling up the belly, the chest, and releasing the air out. Noticing that rising and falling sensations happening into the body. And shifting more and more the focus into the present moment as you do so. You can take the next few breaths to set an intention for today's practice. If there's any focus you want to bring as we're moving around the mat. Or maybe you're deciding what kind of energy do you want to bring into the body. How it is that you want to feel. Allow this intention to become very clear into the mind. And we're going to plant it deep into our heart space like a seed. Taking a big inhale in through the nose and a big release out through the mouth. Gently blink the eyes open, arrive into the room. Now if you had a block underneath your sitting bones, remove it, place it onto the side. And we're staying into our seated position, but we're going to start taking a few circles with our torso. So we're going to begin with small circles. Starting to release any stagnant energy that we might have into the body. Moving with your breath here. And if you wish, you can start taking the circles a little bit bigger, if it feels good into the body, or you can keep them quite small. You can have the shoulders and the neck into it, starting to awaken the body, to invite energy in, to release anything that doesn't serve us that we're ready to let go of. And then next time we're coming back through center, we're going to reverse direction. We're going to take a few more. Starting to bring a little bit more space into your upper body, into the torso, into the spine, and into the hips as well. Let's take one more before coming back through center, finding a seat, taking a moment here. Perhaps your eyes are closed, perhaps you're focusing on a point on the ground. Allow the energy to settle again. Notice your heart beating. And then leave them open. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. And exhale to twist. Bring the right hand on top of the left knee and the left hand just behind you. Inhale, find that tall seat. Exhale to twist towards the back. Trying to keep the torso stacked on top of the hips, the chest open, the shoulders softening away from the ears. Bringing that movement through the spine. And then releasing, coming back to the center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to move to the other side. Left hand on top of your right knee, right hand behind you. Same thing as before. See if you can bring a little bit more softness through your shoulders. Staying wide through your collarbones. Inviting that movement, that twist in. And then gently release, coming back through center. Now, we're going to either swing the legs into one side or roll over our ankles and come into a tabletop position. Taking a moment to arrive here, spreading the fingertips wide on the mat, aligning the shoulders on top of the wrists and the hips on top of your knees. Taking a moment to press the floor away, slightly rounding your upper back. Bringing the ribcage in, engaging the core. And then we're going to take a few cat-cows. So with your inhale, the belly comes down towards the floor. You're opening the heart, looking forward. Exhale, change your chest from the spine up towards the sky. And again, inhale, find that back bend, shine your heart towards the front. And exhale, round everything in and out, pressing the floor away. A couple more times like this. Warming up through the body. One more inhale, open your heart, space into the neck. Exhale to round the spine, creating space between each vertebrae. And then come back through center, find that neutral spine. Now from your tabletop, you're going to reach that right leg back behind. Take a moment to square the hips down towards the ground. So the tendency will always be to open the hips so you can lift that leg higher. Instead, we want it in line with our hips or lower if that's not possible. Bringing that ribcage in. And then wrap everything into the midline and reach the left fingertips towards the front. You're pressing actually through your right hand. Inhale. Exhale, bring knee and elbow towards each other, pressing the floor away. Inhale to extend, keep the ribcage in. Exhale, bring it all in. Inhale, find that expansion. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale to extend. Exhale in. Inhale, extend once again. And with control, release the hand and the knee on the mat. Same thing onto the other side. Left leg reaches back and take a moment here to notice if that hip wants to lift and bring it back down to point on the ground. Engage your core, press the floor away, and wrap everything into the midline, pressing through your left hand. Reach the right fingertips forward. Inhale. Exhale, elbow and knee together, round the spine. Inhale to extend. Exhale in. Two more times. Move with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. One last one. Exhale. Round the spine. Press the floor away. Inhale to reach. And with control, you're releasing hand and knee onto the mat. Let's take a couple of cat-cows here. You can take them a little bit more traditionally as before, or if there's any extra movement that feels good to add here, feel free to do so. Reminding yourself that this is your time, your practice, so always feel free to take the option that works for your body today. And then we're coming back through center, finding that tabletop once again. We're going to keep the hips in line with the knees, and we're going to start walking the hands towards the front, moving towards our puppy pose. Keeping your hips lifted. The forehead can stay lifted off the floor. Or maybe you're grabbing hold of a block and you're bringing it underneath your forehead. Maybe the forehead reaches all the way down onto the ground. Maybe after a few breaths it feels good to bring the chin onto the mat, allowing the chest to open towards the floor. Opening through your armpits, across the belly, across the chest. Finding that sense of almost surrender into this pose. One more breath here. And then let's keep the hands where they are. Start to lift your torso up and gently round in the opposite direction. Start to lean forward, releasing the thighs, the hips, the belly, and the chest, coming all the way down onto the ground. Now we're going to bring the hands onto the outside of the mat. We're going to come up onto our fingertips. We're going to keep them shoulder height. Feet still pressing down. Change your chest in. Start to lift your torso up. Opening your heart space and stopping wherever it feels enough, wherever you don't feel any pain into your lower back. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And then all the way down onto the mat. 2 more times like this. Inhale, lifting up, keeping the neck in line with the spine. Chin slightly tucked into the chest. And exhale, release onto the floor. One more time. Inhale, lift and expand. Invite that energy in. Exhale. Release all the way down onto the ground. Now we're going to bring the elbows in line with our shoulders. Fingertips pointing up so our arms are into a cactus shape. And with your next inhale, you're going to lift the chest up off the ground, the arms as well, the feet off the floor. Coming into your locust. Arms wide to the side. One more breath. And then gently release all the way down to the mat. This time interlace the fingertips behind your back. And with your next inhale, when you're ready, reach the torso up. Open the chest, lift the feet off the floor as well. Reaching the hands all the way behind you towards the back of the mat. And then gently release. Bring the hand underneath the shoulders and take a moment to wiggle the hips side to side. Now, push the ground away, send the hips all the way back towards the heels, and then high towards the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. Take a few movements here, stretching through the back of the legs, pedaling the knees one after the other into the chest. Any other movement, any wiggles into the hips, into the side of the body. Feel free to take it, to add it here. And then arriving into a place of stillness. Spreading the fingertips wide, pushing the ground away. Neck is relaxed, the spine is long, creating space through your lower back. Tailbone reaching towards the sky. If your knees need to be bent because your hamstring feel tight, feel free to do so. Much better to have the knees bent than to be almost in a plank because you want to keep them extended. The heels are reaching energetically towards the ground. It doesn't matter if they don't touch the mat. And one more breath here. And then start to walk the hands all the way back towards the back of the mat, towards your toes. Coming into a forward fold. Your feet are underneath your hips. Maybe grabbing hold of opposite elbows. Maybe keeping your arms dangling. Keep your knees soft and bent, so that you can release any necessary tension from your upper back, from the shoulders, from the neck. The head is heavy, crown of the head reaching down. Letting it all go. Coming back to the center, soften the knees, slowly start to unravel the spine. Coming all the way up to standing. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears and release them back and down, palms facing forward. Feel the connection of your feet to the floor, that lift of the crown of the head to the sky. Feel the energy into the body. With your next inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, lengthen through both sides. And exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, walk the hands all the way towards the front, arriving into plank. So the shoulders are stuck on top of your wrist. You're staying active through your hands, bringing the belly button towards the spine, so the weight doesn't go into the lower belly. Then release the knees down onto the mat. Lean forward with control. Release the thighs, hips, belly, and chest. Inhale, come up, baby cobra. Or maybe a little bit higher into cobra, whatever feels best. And then ground away as you're reaching the hips towards the heels and high towards the sky. Downward dog. A couple of breaths here. Lengthening the spine. Now we're going to do this kind of inverted sun salutation for 2 more times. So we're going to walk the hands all the way back towards the toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Reach the arms all the way towards the ceiling. Gaze follows the front. Gather the energy and exhale. Bring it all the way back down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, walk the hands all the way towards the front. Find your plank. Take a moment to find your strong form here. Belly button towards the spine. And then release the knees onto the mat. You can take the same option as before, or keep the tailbone tucked, lean forward. This time, release down in one line, all the way onto the mat. Inhale, open into your back bend. Exhale, push the ground away, and lift the hips high. Couple of deep breaths here. Bringing space and bringing strength into the body in this pose. And then once again, one last time, walk the hands all the way back. Allow them to reach towards the toes. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. And exhale, one more time, release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands all the way towards the front. Find your plank. Belly button towards the spine. Press the floor away. Create that dome shape in your upper back. So the shoulder blades are moving away from each other. You're finding that protraction. And then you can release the knees onto the ground, or you can lean forward from here. Release chaturanga. Inhale, come into your back bend, maybe your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. And then reach the right leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee and open the hip. Allowing that right knee to reach at least energetically up towards the ceiling as your right hip sits on top of the left. Keeping equal weight through both of your hands and the shoulders squared towards the front as much as possible. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose. Shoulders on top of your wrists, round the spine, and then lightly step the foot forward. If it doesn't land there, grab hold of the ankle and move it between your hands. Release the back knee down, untap the toes, reach the arms up. Arriving to your low lunge. Hugging the inner thighs in towards each other. Now grab hold of your left wrist and start leaning towards the right, bringing that sense of expansion into the left side. Both arms extended if possible. Keeping your chest open. Feeling that sense of spaciousness you're bringing in. Make sure your front knee doesn't collapse inwards, but you're keeping it tracking over your toes. And then come back through center, reach the arms high. Shoulders towards the ears. Exhale, open them into a cactus shape. Open your chest towards the ceiling. And then release the hands down to the ground. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, send the hips back, extending the right leg. Again, you can use your block to bring it underneath your hands to give you a little bit more support here. So you can keep your spine long. And your right knee, if your hamstring feel tight, can stay bent. Wherever you are, flex your right foot, allowing the toes to reach up towards the sky. Inhale, lift a little bit higher, find a little bit more space through the back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Now, stay in this length. Keep the left hand onto the ground or onto the block and reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. Opening the chest towards the right. Keep sending that right hip back, the left hip forward. Now, we're going to keep the left hand as it is, and we're going to bring that left foot out and the right foot all the way at the back. Finding ourselves into a supported side plank. So from here, again, your left foot goes out, right foot at the back. Right fingertips still reaching up towards the sky. You can keep your foot lifted. If you're struggling with the balance, place it down onto the ground. From here, we're going to transition into our cow face. So your right leg comes forward once again and crosses on top of the left. So I'm going to show you, you're going to stay pointing the same direction. But you want to come in a place where your knees are stacking one on top of the other. If this is way too intense, feel free to extend the left leg. So your right knee will move towards stacking on top of the left. Now, we're facing the long side of the mat here. We're making sure both cheekbones are grounded onto the ground, onto the mat. Inhale, lift and length. Exhale to fold. We're not staying here for long. Focus on fully breathing here. And then lift yourself up again. Find that long spine. We're going to reach towards the front of the mat, unravel the legs and step straight into a downward facing dog. You can stay or you can roll towards the front, find your plank and move through your optional vinyasa. Your choice. Moving with your breath. Meeting once again into a downward dog. Taking one big breath in and one big breath out. Left leg reaches high towards the sky. Bend the knee and open the hip. Like we did before, you're keeping both arms extended as you're pushing the ground away, equal weight. As your knee reaches energetically towards the sky, so that my knee is not there physically, that's okay. Keeping your shoulders square towards the front if possible. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, shoulders on top of your wrists, and lightly step the foot forward. Bring it between your hands. Release the back knee down and tuck the toes. Reach the arms up. Arrive into your low lunge. Hug the inner thighs in. Feel the engagement through the body. And then grab hold of your right wrist. Inhale to length. And exhale to lean towards the left this time. Bringing that sense of space into the right side of your torso. Be mindful of your front knee. Allow it to track over your toes. Both arms extended here if possible. Chest remains open. And then gently come back through center. Open your arms wide into a cactus shape. Open your chest towards the sky. And then release the hands down onto the ground. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, send the hips back. Once again, you can grab hold of the block to support you. Keeping your spine long, your foot flexed. The knee can stay bent if needed. Listen to your body. Be very mindful. Inhale, lift a little bit higher, find a little bit more space in the spine, in the back. And exhale, see if you can come a little further into the fold. If it's not possible, just keep the space into the back. Stay a little bit more lifted. Come up, find that halfway lift. Keep the right hand onto the ground or onto the block, left fingertips to the sky. Now make sure you keep sending that left hip back, the right hip forward here. Opening the chest. Top end is active. Feel the energy moving from the ground all the way up. And now keeping that right hand where it is, you're going to bring that right foot to point out and the left leg all the way back. Arriving into your supported side plank. And again, your left foot can be lifted or you can release it onto the mat. Keeping the tailbone tucked, the core engaged. Finding your balance here, feeling the energy. Coming back perhaps to that intention we set at the beginning of the practice. And then, as before, we're coming into our cow face. So your left leg comes towards the front and stacks on top of the right knee. So as before, you have the option to extend the right leg. So the bottom leg will come forward. Otherwise, you can stay here, noticing if you can ground both sides onto the floor. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, release. Taking a few full breaths here. Inviting that space into the outer hip. IT bend. The stretch into the glutes. One more. And then lift yourself up. And we're unraveling the legs, coming through center and stepping back into our downward facing dog. Option to stay or to roll yourself forward and move through your vinyasa. We're meeting into your downward dog. Taking a couple of deep breaths. You can release out through the mouth if it feels good. Let it all go. Now inhale, reach the right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. You have the option to stay here this time, or with control you can transition into your wild thing. Releasing the foot on the floor behind, full rotation of the body. Lift the hips, open your heart. And then with control, you're moving back through center. Reaching the right leg high. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, shoulders on top of your wrists, and lightly step the foot forward. Now, we're going to move into our pyramid pose. We're going to do this transition for 3 times. If your hamstring again feel tight, block underneath your hands. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, send the hips back. And again, inhale, come forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, reach towards the front. Exhale, find your pyramid. Your left heel is still lifted. Your right hip sends back. Your left hip come forward. Now, stay as you are. As we were doing, similar to what we were doing on the ground, from our pyramid, left hand stays onto the mat. Right fingertips are going to reach to the sky. Opening the chest. Bend that right knee and keep the twist. Keep facing the same direction. You're still on the right. You're lifting your torso all the way up. Bringing it to stack on top of the hips. Right thigh external rotation. Right knee tracking over your toes. And make sure your left hip, which will have the tendency to come towards the right, still points forward. So that you're twisting using your core strength. Release the twist. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, open them wide into a cactus shape. Open your chest. And as you're reaching forward, hands are coming into your heart center. You're leaning forward. Reaching the crown of the head to the front. Keep the ribcage in, engaging the core. Taking as many steps as you need. Moving all the way onto your right foot until you can lift that left leg off the ground. Warrior 3. Back leg is active and engaged. It doesn't matter how much is lifted. Try to not lift it more than your hips. Embracing all wobbles, all shakes. Keeping that left foot flexed, the toes pointing down. And then bend the right knee. Bend the left and step lightly the foot next to the right at the top of the mat. Both knees are bent, arms reaching either side of the ears, chair. Rib cage in, engage the core. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the right foot back. Reach the right arm up. And come onto the outside edge of both of your feet. Bring in once again that stretch into the outer hip. into the outside part of your right leg. You can always wiggle that right foot a little bit more towards the middle of the long side of the mat. Reach the right fingertips back as your hips release down. And then you're lifting up and you're stepping that right foot on top of the left. If full side plank feels too much, left knee underneath the left hip. Hips are lifted, top hand active. Embrace the shakes, embrace the wobbles. It's all part of the practice. And then top hand comes down. You're pivoting onto your toes or onto your knees. And you're taking your vinyasa. And we're meeting into downward facing dog. Reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your intention. Take a moment here, option to release down into child pose if needed. We're taking a moment before moving to the left side. If you're in child pose and you need more time, feel free to take it. Otherwise, from downward dog, left leg reaches high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Option to stay here or to slowly, with control, move into your wild thing. Full rotation of the body, lift the hips, open your heart. And with control, you're moving back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, bringing in towards the nose, shoulders on top of your wrists. And lightly step the foot forward, bringing it between your hands. Inhale, open your heart. Block underneath the hands if needed. Exhale, send the hips back, extend the left leg. Two more times. Inhale, come forward, open your heart. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, towards the front. Exhale, move back. Hold here now, sending the left hip back, right hip forward this time. Lengthening the spine, keeping your back long. Feeling that stretch, that space you're bringing into the body. Make sure that there's no pain. If there is, take a step back, adjust, modify. Now let's keep the right hand onto the ground. The left fingertips are going to reach up to the sky. Finding a twist. Opening the chest. And then softening that front knee. Keep the twist. Keep facing the same direction. You're going to lift yourself up. Torso to stack on top of the hips. Make sure there's an external rotation into the front thigh and the right hip still points forward. So take a moment to adjust these parts and then come back into the twist once again. Release it, reaching both arms up towards the sky. And then open your arms wide, opening the chest. Reaching the arms into prayer, your heart center. Lean forward, draw the ribcage in, engage the core. Lean all the way to the front, taking as many steps as you need until you can lift the right foot off the ground, finding your warrior three. A couple of breaths here, embracing all shakes. If you're falling, that's okay, let go of frustration. Let go of the attachment towards the pose. And then soften that left knee and bring the right foot next to it, next to the left foot. Inhale, chair pose. Well done, feel that fire. Embrace it. Exhale, release into your fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot back. Reach the left fingertips up and come onto the outside edges of both of your feet. Again, you can soften this pose by bringing the left foot a little bit more towards the long side of the mat. Release the hips, reach the fingertips back. Send that knee away from your chest. And then as you're lifting up, you're stepping into side plank. Again, right knee can come underneath the right hip to give you that supported side plank we took in the beginning. It's up to you. What choice, what option you're taking. Hips are lifted. Stay with your breath. One more. And then release, top hand down. Pivot onto your knees, onto your toes. Lean forward, move through your vinyasa. And we're meeting into a downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Finding that release if needed. And then we're all going to come down into a child pose. Keeping the knees together at hip distance. And melting the belly on top of the thighs. Forehead onto the ground or onto a block. And your arms reaching back. Melting the shoulders on top of your knees. Once again, taking this time to reconnect with the breath and to bring that intention back into focus. How it is that you decided you wanted to feel in this practice today, and what can you do to bring more of that energy? Notice your heartbeat here. Notice your breath into the back, into the belly, into the chest. And slowly, when you're ready, lift yourself up, down into seated, bringing the sit-bones into the ground, the legs swinging forward. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together now, and the heels as close as you can, as close as it feels comfortable towards your groin. And again, you can use the block underneath your sit-bones to give yourself a little bit more support. Hug your feet, find that length through the spine, and exhale to come into a fold that will look different for everyone. So you might stay here and still feel very much the stretch into your groin, into your inner thighs. Maybe you're all the way folding with the forehead onto the ground. Maybe you're halfway. That's okay. That's the beauty of yoga, is that it's for everyone and everybody is different. So find the option that works for you, that makes you feel good here. Finding your edge without bringing pain. A couple more deep breaths here. And then gently lift yourself up. And keep hold of the ankles now. And you're going to open your chest. Open your heart to the sky. Maybe open the throat as well if it feels good for the neck. Releasing the head back. And gently coming back through center. We're going to guide the knees together. And we're going to extend the legs long. We're going to take a couple more poses before our final one, our Shavasana. So your knees can be bent. You can keep the block underneath the sitting bones still. Flexing the feet, toes reaching up. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. And exhale to forward fold. You can decide if to bring the stretch more onto the hamstring. In that case, try to keep your spine as long as possible. If you wish to bring the stretch a little bit more into the back, you can allow the knees to be bent as much as you need and the spine to round as much as you need it to be. So your choice here, which pose feels best to finish the practice. And slowly start to lift yourself up. Scoot yourself a little bit more forward. Grab hold of the back of the thighs and gently guide yourself all the way down onto the mat. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug. Rocking from side to side. Massaging your lower back. Coming back through center, keep the knees together and drop them all the way towards the right side. Keeping the left shoulder glued on the ground. Opening the left arm into a T-shape or cactus shape, depending on your space. You can look towards the left if it feels good for the neck. Adding to the twist. And taking a few breaths here, releasing any unnecessary tension from the body, from the spine, from the lower back. And then with control, guide the knees back through center. We're going to move them onto the other side. So you're going to drop the knees towards the left. You're going to keep your right arm open, looking towards the right side if it feels good. The right shoulder glued on the ground. Maybe your eyes start to close. Inviting relaxation, a deep sense of calm into the body, into this moment. Bringing the knees back through center one more time. Give yourself the biggest of the hugs. Giving yourself some well-deserved love, like you mean it. Finding appreciation for this time, this practice, this chance to move together. And appreciation for your body, for your health, for your strength and your softness. And when you're ready, release the legs long and start to prepare for your final pose for your Shavasana. Taking as much space as you need. Legs relaxed, toes pointing towards the side, dropping heavy towards the sides. Relaxing the legs, softening your belly. Keeping your chest open, your arms relaxed, your palms facing up. Keep the neck long in line with the spine, so tuck the chin slightly in towards the chest. Unclench the jaw, relax the cheeks, relax the forehead, that space between your eyebrows. Find this sense of surrender, letting go of any effort, and arriving into this place of stillness. Allowing your body to rest and to recover, observing the benefits of this practice. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. If you wish to stay longer here, feel free to take your time. If you're ready to come out, then start deepening your breath. Start wiggling your toes, moving your ankles, your fingers, your wrists. Movement in the neck by rocking the head from side to side. And reaching your arms all the way above the head. Bringing in this long big stretch through the body. We are awakening it once again today. And then bring the knees into your chest and roll over onto your right side. Taking a moment here to honor your practice. To honor your efforts. And lastly, honor your intention. And when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, push yourself up, coming into a comfortable seated position. We're taking a big breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Bring the hands into prayer, heart center, and bowing gratitude the heart, the head towards the heart. Namaste.